Shortly after Valentine's Day, I had the privilege of seeing Lee University's debut of A Dollhouse Project. Originally set in the 1880s, the story was created to help people evaluate gender roles and inequality. This is something that was super controversial back then, and parts of it still are. The play starts off at the historic Craig Miles house in Cleveland, where we meet our main characters, Nora and Torvald, husband and wife. With the introduction of a few side plots and some character development, we learn that Torvald previously fell ill and Nora took out a loan by forging her father's signature to help financially. Torvald uses phrases such as "my little songbird" to signal the primary role of Nora being that of simply a housewife. After being unable to repay the debtor, Nora finds herself being blinded by the imminent doom of her husband finding out about the fraud. The scene closes and moves up the street to the Hardwick House for the scene set in 1950. All of the actors are different, but the plot and characters remain the same with only slight adjustments for the time period. In Act 2, we learn that one of the family friends may be dying, and that the debtor has initiated telling Torvald of Nora's act of deception. He has placed the revealing letter in the mailbox, and Nora contemplates suicide as Torvald wonders what could be wrong with his little squirrel. Notice the reference to the things being caged. In the third act, the cast moved to the death row house for the scene set in 2020. They're just returning from a friend's party. When they get home, Torvald talks about being uncomfortable with the way those guys looked at Nora. How jealous. Nora sees that Torvald is going to check his email and will find out about her deception. She leaves the room with a handful of sleeping pills, but is called by Torvald before she takes them. When he learns that she has fallen into the predicament she has, his demeanor immediately changes to hostility. He says he won't allow the children to live with a criminal and subjects Nora to a plethora of insults and abuses about what she did wrong. Both Nora and Torvald soon discover that the debtor had a change of heart and is releasing her of the loan obligation, as well as pursuing no legal action against Nora. It turns out that he was in love with Nora's best friend the whole time and decides to turn his life around. Upon hearing that everything is going to be okay, Torvald immediately tries to make things better with Nora, but little does he know that his initial reaction has struck a deep chord within his wife. She declares that she has been living under the facade of everything that he has wanted her to be, and she just realized that she doesn't even know who she is anymore. Nora decides to put her entire life under a microscope as she moves on to a journey of self-rediscovery and recreation. Changing time periods between the three acts helps viewers see that the gender roles that we see as ridiculous, that were commonplace in 1880, easily transform into the biases that are still alive and well in 2020. The plot is rich with lessons, but the main one resounds that Torvald did not love Nora for who she truly was, and Nora felt controlled rather than loved. I feel that this story is just as relevant today as it was in 1880. It relates not simply to the beautiful real estate of Cleveland, Tennessee, but to the domestic decisions that are made every day that impact everyone in our community. It helps to open our eyes to a world where others may not have had their voice heard. If you like this unique interpretation of a Dollhouse Project, check out some other things we're doing in the community by clicking on the suggested video. I'll see you over there.